You know what? Claire said, her voice cutting through the restaurant chatter like a knife. You're not the man I dreamed of marrying. The words hung in the air between us. Our friends, 3 couples who'd known us for years, went silent. Forks stopped halfway to mouths. Wine glasses paused mid-sip. I'm 33. We'd been engaged for 8 months, together for 3 years. This was supposed to be a celebration dinner at Marcello's, the Italian place where we'd had our first date. I'm sorry. I set down my menu carefully. Claire's eyes were bright, almost excited. I mean, you're a good man. Stable. Reliable. But you're not him. Him. The word tasted bitter. The man I imagined when I was younger. The one who'd sweep me off my feet. The passionate artist or the adventurous entrepreneur. Someone who'd take risks. Make grand gestures. Our friend Mitchell cleared his throat. His wife Dana touched his arm, shaking her head slightly. I looked at Claire, really looked at her. Her designer dress, the new highlights in her hair she'd gotten yesterday, the way she sat up straighter than usual, performing. That's interesting, I said quietly. She blinked. That's all you have to say? What would you like me to say? I don't know. Fight for me. Show some passion. This is exactly what I mean. You're so measured. So controlled. I took a sip of water. My hand was steady. When did you come to this realization? I've been thinking about it for months. She said it proudly, like it was an accomplishment. Seeing Amanda's post from her honeymoon in Bali, watching Trevor propose to his girlfriend at that concert last month, it made me wonder if we have that spark. And you chose a public dinner with our friends to share these thoughts. I thought maybe the setting would inspire you to be different, to show me something more. The waiter approached tentatively. I waved him away. Different how? I asked. Claire leaned forward. I want someone who makes me feel alive, who surprises me, who isn't content with a predictable life in a predictable job doing predictable things. I see. That's it. I see. Her voice rose. This is what I'm talking about. Where's the emotion? I folded my napkin and placed it on the table. You're right, Claire. Her eyes widened. I am. Yes. You deserve the man you dreamed of. And I deserve someone who doesn't see stability as a character flaw. What are you saying? I pulled the small velvet box from my jacket pocket, the one containing her grandmother's ring that I'd planned to present tonight as a surprise upgrade from the engagement ring. I'd spent 6 weeks coordinating with her mother to get it sized and restored. I set it on the table between us. What is that? Claire reached for it. Don't. My voice was firm. It's your grandmother's ring. Your mother gave it to me 3 weeks ago. I had it restored. The jeweler said the sapphire was damaged, so I had it replaced with a flawless stone. The band was worn thin, so I had it reinforced with platinum. I was going to surprise you tonight. Claire's hand trembled. You were going to. But you're right. I'm too predictable. Too measured. A man who'd spend weeks secretly coordinating with your family and researching the best restoration jewelers in the state isn't the passionate artist you're looking for. I stood up. Our friends sat frozen, watching. The reservation is paid through dessert. Enjoy your meal. I recommend the tiramisu. Wait. Claire grabbed my wrist. You can't just leave. I can actually. You just told me I'm not what you want. I'm respecting that. But I didn't mean. I wanted you to fight for us. No. I removed her hand gently. You wanted a performance. You wanted me to prove myself worthy in front of an audience. That's not fighting for us. That's fighting for your ego. You're being dramatic. I almost laughed. Says the woman who ambushed her fiancé at a celebration dinner. Dana finally spoke up. Claire, what the hell? Stay out of this, Dana. She can't, I said. You made this public. You wanted witnesses. Mitchell stood too. Man, I think you should. Don't, I told him. I appreciate it, but this is clear. I looked at Claire one last time. She was crying now, mascara starting to run. I hope you find your dream man, I said. I really do. But I'm not going to audition for the role. I walked out of Marcello's with my head high and my heart hammering. My car was 3 blocks away. I made it 2 blocks before I had to stop and lean against a building. 3 years. 8 months engaged. Over in 5 minutes. My phone started buzzing. Mitchell. Then Dana. Then Alice, the other woman at the table. I silenced them all. The drive home was automatic. I lived alone. Claire had kept her apartment because she wanted to do things right and not move in until after the wedding. At the time, I thought it was sweet. Traditional. Now I wondered if she'd always been keeping an escape route. My apartment felt too quiet. I poured a bourbon and sat on the couch, staring at nothing. The thing was, Claire wasn't entirely wrong. I was stable, measured, predictable. I worked as a project manager for a mid-sized construction firm. I made good money, not great. I had a 401k and decent health insurance. I went to the gym 3 times a week. I meal prepped on Sundays. I had a standing poker game with friends every other Friday. But I'd chosen those things deliberately because 10 years ago, I was the opposite. 10 years ago, I was sleeping in my car between gigs as a freelance photographer. I was chasing passion and adventure across the country with a camera and a dream. I was dating a woman who loved the uncertainty, who thrived on not knowing where we'd be next month. Until she got pregnant. We kept the baby, got engaged, started planning. Then at 16 weeks, we lost him. They told us it was a boy during the emergency room visit. The grief destroyed us. She blamed me for dragging her into an unstable life. I blamed myself for not being able to provide better medical care, better insurance, better everything. She left. I stopped taking photos. I got the project manager job through a friend who took pity on me. I worked hard, climbed up, built the stable, predictable life I thought would prevent that kind of pain from ever happening again. And now the woman I'd built it with, or thought I'd built it with, had decided it wasn't exciting enough. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered without thinking. Is this him? The fiancé. Who is this? Trevor. Claire's brother. I sighed. What do you want, Trevor? My mom just called me crying. Said you humiliated Claire in public and stole Grant's ring. I didn't steal anything. Your mother gave it to me. Check with her if you don't believe me. Claire says you blindsided her. That you broke up over nothing. Is that what she said? She's devastated, man. I stood up, walked to my window. Trevor, did your sister mention what she said to me? In front of our friends. Silence. She told me I'm not the man she dreamed of. That I'm too stable, too predictable, too boring. She said she's been thinking about it for months. She wanted me to fight for her, meaning make a scene, I suppose. When I didn't perform the way she wanted, she got upset that I took her at her word. More silence. Your mother gave me Grant's ring because Claire mentioned months ago that she wished she could wear it. I spent 6 weeks having it restored as a surprise. I was going to give it to her tonight. Instead, she ambushed me with complaints about how I'm not exciting enough. So I left. That's what happened. Trevor exhaled. Jesus. Tell your mother I'll return the ring tomorrow. It's hers to do with as she pleases. No. Look, Claire can be dramatic. We all know that. But she loves you. Does she? Or does she love the idea of a wedding? The attention? The performance? That's harsh. Maybe. But I've been thinking about it for the last hour, and I keep coming back to something. In 3 years, Claire has never once asked me about my life before we met. Not really. She knows I used to take photos, but she doesn't know why I stopped. She knows I have a good job, but she's never asked why I chose this career. Maybe you never told her. Maybe she never wanted to know. I heard voices in the background. Trevor spoke to someone muffled. She wants to talk to you, he said. No. Come on, man. No. She said what she said. I'm not doing the back and forth thing. Tell her I wish her well. I hung up. The text started coming in around midnight. Claire herself, not her family. I didn't mean it like that. You're overreacting. Can we please talk? I was just being honest about my feelings. You're throwing away 3 years over one comment? I turned off my phone and went to bed. Sleep didn't come. I lay there thinking about all the small moments I'd ignored. The way Claire always compared our relationship to her friends' relationships. The way she'd pout when I couldn't take last-minute trips because of work deadlines. The way she'd sigh when I suggested quiet nights instead of expensive restaurants. I'd chalked it up to different love languages, different communication styles. But maybe it was simpler than that. Maybe we just wanted different things. The next morning, I called Claire's mother, Patricia. I'm so sorry, she said immediately. I don't know what got into her. It's not your fault. The ring, keep it. Give it to her when you two work this out. Patricia, we're not working this out. And I can't keep the ring. It's a family heirloom. You were going to be family. Were. Past tense. Even she knew it was over. I'll drop it off this afternoon. I had it insured during the restoration. All the paperwork is in the box. She was crying. You're a good man. I told her that. I told her she was lucky. Thank you for trusting me with it. After we hung up, I sat in my kitchen drinking coffee and staring at the ring box. 3 weeks of work. Consultations with 2 jewelers before I found the right one. Phone calls with Patricia to get the details right, to understand the ring's history. Her grandfather had proposed with it in 1952. 3 generations of marriages. And I'd almost added a 4th. My phone powered on automatically, some setting I'd never disabled. Messages flooded in. I scrolled through them. Mitchell. Dude, that was intense. You okay? Dana. Claire is telling people you broke up with her out of nowhere. That's not what happened. Alice, I'm so sorry. I had no idea she was going to do that. None of us did. And one from a number I didn't recognize. This is Nicole, Dana's sister. We met at their barbecue last summer. Dana told me what happened. I just wanted to say that what Claire did was cruel, and you handled it with more grace than most people would have. I stared at that last one. Nicole, blonde woman, worked in publishing, made a joke about my cologne that had actually been funny. I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I opened my laptop and did something I hadn't done in years. I looked at my old photography portfolio. The files were still there. Landscapes from Montana, street photography from New Orleans, portraits of musicians and artists I'd met on the road. They were good. Maybe not professionally good, but good enough that I'd made rent with them. I'd buried this part of myself so deep I'd almost forgotten it existed. Not because it was bad, because it reminded me of what I'd lost. But sitting there, looking at these images, I didn't feel the old grief. I felt something else. Curiosity. What if I picked up a camera again? Not as a career, but as something for myself. Something that wasn't about stability or planning or being predictable. Something that was just mine. I spent the afternoon driving to Patricia's house. She answered the door with red eyes. Come in, please. I can't stay. I just wanted to return this. She took the box, held it carefully. She called me this morning. Said you were punishing her for being honest. I didn't respond. That's not true, is it? Patricia asked. No, I'm accepting her honesty. That's different. She nodded slowly. I raised her to speak her mind. But I didn't raise her to be cruel about it. She's not cruel. She's just young. She's 29. That's old enough to know better. I smiled despite myself. Maybe. What will you do now? The question caught me off guard. I don't know. Work. Live. Figure things out. You'll find someone better. Someone who sees you. I drove home thinking about that phrase. Someone who sees you. Did Claire ever see me? Or just the version she wanted me to be? The next few days were strange. Work was a relief. Projects don't care about your personal life. But evenings were hard. I'd gotten used to video calls with Claire, texts throughout the day, weekend plans. Now there was silence. Mitchell invited me to poker that Friday. I almost declined, then forced myself to go. Everyone was careful around me. Too careful. Asking if I was okay. Avoiding mention of Claire or relationships or anything that might be sensitive. I'm not fragile, I finally said during a break. We know, Mitchell said. But that was brutal, man. In front of everyone. It was honest, at least. Honest would have been a private conversation. That was performance art. I laughed. Actually laughed. Yeah, it was. Dana ran into her yesterday. Alice's husband mentioned. At the grocery store. She tried to play victim. Let her, I said. Doesn't matter. But it did matter. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. Not because I wanted her back. That door had closed the moment she'd spoken. But because 3 years of my life had been redirected by 5 minutes of public humiliation, and the whiplash was real. That night, I pulled out my old camera. A Canon 5D Mark II, ancient by current standards, but still functional. I charged the battery, loaded a memory card, and drove to the waterfront at sunset. I hadn't taken a photo in a decade. The first few shots were terrible. Composition off, exposure wrong, timing awkward. But then I found a rhythm. A couple walking their dog. The light hitting the water. An old man feeding pigeons. Nothing groundbreaking. Nothing that would change the world. But mine. When I got home and uploaded the images, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not happiness exactly, but possibility. My phone rang. Claire. I let it go to voicemail. She called again an hour later. Again. Finally, I answered. What? We need to talk. We did talk. At Marcello's. I made a mistake. I was scared about the wedding and I freaked out and said stupid things. Okay. That's it. What do you want me to say, Claire? That you forgive me. That we can work through this. I sat down, phone pressed to my ear, and chose my words carefully. I don't think you made a mistake. I think you told the truth. Maybe not tactfully, and definitely not kindly, but the truth. You want something I'm not. And that's okay. I want you. No. You want the idea of me. The stable guy with the good job, who checks the boxes. But you resent me for being exactly what you wanted. You resent me for not being spontaneous and passionate, while simultaneously choosing me, because I'm reliable and measured. That's not. It is. And I'm tired, Claire. I'm tired of being both too much and not enough. I'm tired of being the safe choice that you're embarrassed about. I'm tired of performing stability while being criticized for not being exciting. Silence on the line. I loved you, I said quietly. But I loved who I thought you were. And you loved who you wanted me to be. Neither of those people exist. So that's it. We're done. We've been done. You just wanted me to fight harder to change your mind. But I'm not going to argue someone into wanting me. You're making a mistake. Maybe. But it's mine to make. I hung up. This time, she didn't call back. 3 months later, I had a gallery showing. Nothing major. A small coffee shop that showcased local artists. 20 photos from my waterfront sessions and some new work from weekend trips I'd started taking. Mitchell and Dana came. Alice and her husband. Nicole, Dana's sister, who'd sent me that text. Claire didn't. I sold 4 prints. Made enough to cover my coffee expenses for the year. But more importantly, I felt something I'd lost when I'd buried my camera. I felt like myself. Nicole approached as I was taking down the unsold pieces. These are beautiful, she said. Thank you. Dana told me you just started again. After years off. Yeah, needed a change. Sometimes the best things come from the worst moments. I looked at her. Really looked. Sometimes they do. She smiled. I'm going to get coffee. Want to join me? I did. And sitting there, talking about photography and publishing and everything except my failed engagement, I realized something. Claire was right. I wasn't the man she dreamed of, but I was becoming the man I wanted to be. And that was enough.